Welcome, everyone. This is Heather B. Moore, and I am here with one of my favorite authors plus favorite friends, Julie Wright, and she is also an author as well. So many of you have probably heard of her or read her, and I was just really excited to talk to her today. So just a little bit about Julie is we go quite a ways back. I am not even sure how many years, probably 15 or so, I'm guessing. Anyway, we both used to be with the same publisher, and then Julie changed publishers, and now we are with another publisher together as well. So it's kind of ironic how our paths continue to cross, but she has been a wonderful beta reader for me many, many times, and we frequently will swap manuscripts, and we both tell each other it would have taken me 3 more hours if I put all the smiley faces, so I just left them all out. So she's also just a great confidence booster and cheerleader for me as well. Anything, Julie, you want to just add?
Other than I'm super grateful for your friendship, and I love that I get to be your beta reader because awesome books.
In fact, I remember when you were doing the Slow March of Light, and I think I told you the story before I was writing it, or as close to it, or as maybe in the middle of writing it.
In the middle of COVID, we went out to lunch. That was the socially distant lunch that we did at the park, and where you were at one table and I was in another, and we're basically yelling across the park at each other. It was an amazing story. I'm super glad to share it with me. Yeah, I remember hearing it because it's such a great story. It's like, wow, that sticks in your mind where you hear stuff because it was really awesome. So,
yeah, well, thank you so much. So what I wanted to ask you about is you have not only one son, but you just shared with me that you have 2 sons that are enlisted. So let's talk about the older son first that enlisted when he was quite young. And I would just love to hear about what you remember, kind of his decision-making process to do that. Because we're not in a situation right now in our country where we have a draft, an active draft going as far as people getting drafted and called to go into service.
Okay, well, his decision-making process, he was in high school still. He was a senior in high school, and he came home one day and he said, I'm joining the Marines. And we're like, wait, what? It was just so out of the blue. We don't know where that even came from. I still don't know. He could probably tell you. I have no idea. He just showed up one day after school and said, this is what I've decided to do. It's like, no, you're not. That was my instant. And my husband, who is a little more rational than I am, he said, okay, you want to join the military? That's great. He's like, why don't you make an educated decision? Go visit all of the different branches. Mm-hmm. Talk to the recruiters and see what you like about them and what you don't like about them. So you can make an intelligent choice versus a fly by the seat of your pants. I've just decided to make this crazy decision that will alter my entire life with no information. So he did. And he ended up joining the Army. And he's my sweet kid, I mean, okay, that sounds, I hope my other kids aren't watching. They're all sweet. They are all sweet, but he's tender. He's just an incredibly kind and generous soul. So the idea of him wielding a gun just was so foreign to me because that was just not his thing. But after a while, it started to make sense that my kind and gentle child who cares about people and how they feel and how he wants the world to be a better place. So it really did make sense. And he joined the Army, and he ended up, because he got a good test score, he was able to choose from some of the higher up jobs, I guess, mm-hmm. say. So he went into the paralegal field, which is something that he's actually always been interested in. So he's going to do JAG and go in and be a lawyer. And so he's looking at a full-on career. And right now his clients, because he's deployed right now, and his clients are in Guantanamo Bay. And wow. That's kind of exciting and interesting. So it's funny because he called me up and he's like, I really wish that this all wasn't top secret. He's like, because if you knew some of the stuff I knew, he's like, it's so awesome. So he loves what he does. And it was really an interesting thing because so when he went to basic, they give you they do a Facebook page for whatever your unit is that your kid is in. And so that's really the only real, I mean, between that and letters, that's our communication. There weren't phone calls or anything. And it was fun because on that, one of the photographers for his unit took a picture of him, and he's squatted down and he's got his rifle over his lap and kind of slung over his arm. And then he's got his scriptures open and he's reading his scriptures. And this photographer just caught him in a very personal and amazing moment. And as a mom, I'm looking at that and I'm like, huh. And that was when it really clicked to me that this was a choice that he made for the right reasons. And I really love that he did that, because he wants the world to be peaceful and happy and fair. And he's all about what's fair. And he always has been since he was little. He's like, let's make things fair for everybody. And that's the kind of human he is. So it makes sense that his clients are people who are her prisoners, and who he handles, you know, the investigations there to make sure that everything's legal and appropriate. And I love that he does that. It's a very cool thing. But something interesting, little fun fact that a lot of people don't think about, I didn't think about, because basic is hard. I mean, okay, that's not a fun fact. Everybody knows that. But I didn't realize how important mail was. So if you've got a soldier in your life, send them a couple of letters, you know, get them. Mail is so vital for their morale. And I didn't recognize, so once I recognized what was going on and how just hard basic really was, man, his dad and I were making sure he got letters all the time. But it made me think back to when my brother was in the military, when my brother joined, and I think I maybe sent my brother maybe one letter, maybe. And I feel kind of crummy about that now that I'm on this side of it, and I'm realizing I could have been a better sister and I wasn't. So if you've got a soldier in your life, you should be mailing them things.
I like that.
Letters. Yeah. Just mail them letters, not things, because things get taken away. So if you like include a pack of gum in there, you'll probably get them in trouble and they'll have to do push-ups or something. So just letters. That's it.
So your brother was in the military too. So I wondered, was there family, kind of a family precedent? Not, how sometimes you hear about families that are kind of military families, like a lot of people in the family throughout the generations will serve. And so it does become almost a tradition and a love.
We're definitely a military family. My grandfather was in the Army. He was a full bird colonel. And then my father was a captain of the Navy. And then my brother is a higher rank in the Army. I'm not sure where he's at now, but I think he's a captain. I think he's a captain. I don't know. I don't know how it's different. The Navy is different from the Army. And so it's hard for me to keep it all straight. And then I have a couple of nephews who are in the Army. One graduates from basic tomorrow. So that's kind of exciting. And my youngest son he was sworn into the Army today. There is a lot of military in our family. So yeah, we're definitely what you would call a military family.
So your son that joined right after high school.
No, it wasn't right after high school.
Oh, when was it?
He joined while he was still in high school. And I had to sign papers. I basically had to sign ownership of him to the government. They made me sign paperwork because he wasn't 18 yet. So I had to release my parental obligations to him. And that was a hard day. It was very uncomfortable. I wasn't very happy about it, but I do believe in free agency, and what's best for my kid isn't always what I want for them. So yeah. Anyway.
So what is it? Because I know sometimes those who join up, they look at it as a vehicle to get an education and to be in reserve. So for him, is it a career though? Is that what his goals are?
He didn't start out that way, but I think it has become that. He really loves it. He loves the people. He's never been in a situation that he hasn't really loved being. He even loved basic. He even liked his drill sergeants. It's a very rare and strange thing. I mean, he's just a very easygoing. He likes everybody, and so I think he's making a career out of it in a way that I don't think even he anticipated. I don't think he had expected to enjoy it the way he does. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember when I was doing research for the book and Baba Nama was telling me about basic training in California. And so I found actually some YouTube footage from some old, they had put together some films about what basic training was. And it was so interesting because the only time I've seen anything about basic training was just like in a Hollywood movie. I never saw like real footage. And so it was really interesting. And I can see how you become really close kind of as a brotherhood or a sisterhood, and you go through and you challenge yourself and you gain that confidence, and you also gain that discipline, especially when you're 17, 18, 19 years old. You just have a lot of energy and a lot of strength. And if you can really channel it into the right direction, that you can really become really strong and powerful. And
well, then you think what Bob went through. I mean, there's a soldier who, that was definitely a young man's trial. An older man would have just been broken by such an experience. So, wow, that whole thing was just, wow. And it's scary too. And from a mom's point of view,
right. I know.
Everybody who have not read this book, you have to go read this book.
So with your second son, did you kind of see the writing on the wall? Was he giving hints, or is it something that he had also talked about, but then decided later?
Well, he did before he left to go serve a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and he went to go do that. And he talked about it before his mission. But then when he came home, I kind of thought that he'd just chosen school. And so I really thought, and so him actually joining was kind of out of the blue as well. All of a sudden, just one day he's like, hey, I've decided I'm going to join the military. It's like, really? I didn't realize you were doing that. So, but he swore in, is that, I don't know what the past tense of that is. He was sworn in. I think that's how we say it. He was sworn in today, and because of COVID, I wasn't able to go, which is too bad. But he's happy. He seems excited. He called up and he seems excited. So, and what's nice about not being in a draft situation is you get to choose where you're going and what you're doing. You're not just, you get to pick the branch, you get to pick your MOS, your job, so to speak. And I think when you're drafted, I don't know that you get those choices. I mean, I don't know. I've never been drafted. Fun little aside. My father, when he went to Vietnam, he joined voluntarily. And while he was there, he got his mail one day and got a draft notice. So,
oh, wow.
I think it's just really hilarious that while he was already serving, he was drafted to serve. It's like the military just kind of lost him somewhere along the way. It's kind of funny.
Well, and I wonder about that too. So do they choose where they go basic training, or is that assigned? Because
that's assigned.
Yeah, but you choose where you want to serve in, and then you can kind of make more choices than probably you would be able to if you're drafted.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, like I said, I don't really know how a draft works, so I don't know.
So can you tell us where your second son is going to do basic training, or is that?
I don't know yet.
Oh, you don't know yet? Yeah.
I don't know. My first son, he went to Fort Jackson. That was where he did his basic at Jackson. I'm pretty sure that's where he went. Yeah, it was Jackson. I don't know where Chandler's going to go yet. We talked for like 3 minutes, and then it was hey mom, I gotta go. He's also engaged, so it was hey, I gotta go call my fiance. So
yeah. Priorities, right?
Yeah, I'm not on the priority list anymore. I gotta tell you,
moving down the list.
It's a little bit hard as a mom to let go and to let them go live their lives and do what they need to do. You worry a lot because, especially, basic it's not engineered to be a nice place. It's not meant for them to go. It's not like scout camp.
Right.
It's hard. It's brutal. There's just they break you so they can build you up again. That's their goal. And as a mom, you don't want your kid going through that. So I can't imagine what, like, as I was reading your book, I was thinking of Bob, and I'm thinking of his mom, and how, I don't know, just that whole scenario, just wow, just crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, kudos to anyone, whether they're drafted or they enlist. My husband's uncle served in World War II, his great uncle technically. And then my uncle served in the Air Force as a chaplain and, you know, for his whole career. And so but still, though, there are people that are, you know, 1 or 2 steps removed from me. And so when I was doing research, I really appreciated to have someone like you be a beta reader, and also Patrick Wick, who I interviewed before, and also Donna Weaver, who I interviewed previously as well, is because even though I was getting a lot of information from Baba Nama, I also wanted to make sure I wasn't going to miss out on something. And then when the book is published, you know, have those reviews that there have steam coming out of them because I got some things wrong that I shouldn't, that it was my responsibility to get right. So I really appreciate all your help, and also just, you know, your family, and especially your sons, that they're doing things that I can't do for myself. And so I'm sure that everyone listening appreciates their service as well. So anyway, so thank you, Julie. I didn't want this to be super long because I'm actually on a borrowed computer and I don't know what's going to happen next. I tugged it out of my teenager's room and said, I need your computer really fast. Anyway, but I really appreciate you jumping on, and if I could send you roses through the internet, I would.
Well, you don't, no need. You send me your book, so that's me for me. And seriously, everybody, if you have not read The Slow March of Light yet, well, of course you haven't yet because it's not quite out yet, but when you're able to get it, you need to get it immediately. It was such a beautiful, powerful story, and it was heart-wrenching in all the right ways and eye-opening in all the right ways too. So thank you for being such a great writer and such a great friend.
Well, thank you too. I could say everything the exact same about you. So we will see you, and have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.